All right, this is gonna be really weird. All right, this is gonna be super weird, but I like to document my dreams. So I want to document this one, and so it's known, like literally like what my mind was thinking at that time, because it's just very interesting when my dreams are vivid. I don't even remember the last time I did this, but I remember I accurately kind of depicted everything that happened in the dream. And it makes me want to go watch that video. If I find it, maybe I'll link it. I'll pop up on the side or something like that. If I can find it, it'll take me a little bit. But I just had this really funny, well, actually, it's not really that funny, but it's one of those really weird dreams, and I just wanted to discuss it with you guys. So this is basically what happened. So my friend, he is, I don't want to, is it called like a church home? I don't even know how to call it, but my friend's dad is a pastor. So for some reason, and it's not that it's not for some reason, but I had a dream that I was going to check on one of his houses, and it's definitely the location. Oh yeah, now I remember the other dream. I'll find it. It's about me being trapped in like a puzzle house or something like that, a haunted house or some dumb stuff like that. Anyway, so I'm going, I think it's in Queens. The house is somewhere in Queens or Brooklyn or something like that, and I'm going to check on the house. I don't really know exactly why I'm going to check on the house, but I'm going to check on the house. Now, the house is like a decent apartment. It's like an apartment building. It has multiple floors. I can remember it having multiple floors. So I'm like, okay, I'm in the house. I go in the house, and I think what happens is that I think I fall, like I fall through the floor. I think if I remember the word chronologically what happens, I fall through the floor. I'm fine. To be fair, I'll close to the floor. I'm fine. I'm still looking around, but all I know is that basically when I come back up from like the bottom half or whatever like that of the house, I come back up, and I guess I had the door open or something like that, like one of the doors, and then it kind of like reminded me of my field inspecting days. So pretty much someone finds it and sees the door open, and they're questioning why I'm in the house. And I'm trying to explain to them, hey, I'm just here to check out the house. I'm a friend of the family or something like that. So, don't worry about it. And then for some reason, the lady, it's like two older black ladies. And she's like asking me like, well, who's the owner of the house then? If you're here to check it out, then who's the owner? Tell me who the owner is. And for some reason, I could not remember how to properly say, oh, she's gonna kill me. I couldn't remember how to say the wife's name. Like, I know her name, but I kept saying Elsa. It's like Elsa, right? Like Elsa. And usually what's funny is I normally never, and it's funny because it's actually accurate to real life, I never usually call her by her first name. I would never really do that. I would never address her by her first name. So I found it difficult when someone was asking me who lives here, whose house is this. And at first, instead of just saying it's the pastor's house, I was trying to remember his wife's name, and I was just like, it's Elsa. Like, all right, Elsa. And they did not like how unconfident I was trying to say her name. Obviously, I'm not gonna say her name in the video. I ask people's permission before divulging their personal information and videos like this. So I couldn't get her name right, and then eventually when one of the ladies walked away, that's when I said, oh, that's her name. it's because I'm feeling pressured now, because I think that they're gonna start, nonsense is gonna start popping off. I remember the name, and then I was like, and then I mentioned afterwards, oh no, it's actually also it's the pastor's house. I know it's the pastor's house. But when I mentioned it was the pastor's house, he kind of made it seem like, well, duh, it's the pastor's house. Like, it almost made it make sense that I was gonna use the wife's name first to make it seem like I really know who's living here, instead of it just being, because it makes sense that they might have known that the pastor's gonna live there, because even I know, based on the church that I used to go to, like usually everyone knows where the pastor's house is. So it actually, now that I think about it, hindsight of my own dream is like, yeah, saying the pastor's name would have been pretty damn irrelevant. Well, not irrelevant, but as far as like everyone would have probably known the pastor. I'm like, oh, the pastor's here. He's gonna this is the pastor's house. Yeah, I think he's retiring, even though I think he's currently already retired. So it's like a really weird timeline. Even now, I think he's already retired, but it's like, yeah, he's retiring. He's gonna be living here in his house, which is like, it doesn't make sense, but it's like he's gonna be retiring soon. And say, oh, is he gonna preach? Like, I don't know if he's gonna. I think he's retiring. Wouldn't that mean that he's not gonna preach? Wouldn't that technically mean if he's retiring that he wouldn't be preaching anymore? Like, I think this is just his house. Again, inconsistencies with real life, because if he was retiring, then of course he's not gonna. I don't know, really strange. But I think what happens is that I'm looking outside while I'm talking to the lady, and I noticed that one of them had called the cops, and the cops are coming in mass, and I'm like, oh my god. But for some reason I'm not stressed, because I know, just like in the old days when cops were calling me when I was a field inspector, I had documentation. I had my phone somewhere in the house with me, so I knew I could just pull up conversations or pull up the phone numbers, or just call, like, hey, you could just call them. So when I saw the cops outside, I wasn't really worried, but there were actually multiple cop cars. Now, usually for a call like, oh, I think that there's someone in the house that doesn't belong, they're not bringing multiple cop cars. So it started to concern me that maybe I had initially thought, my mental was that this lady lied. She said some crazy stuff about a guy being in here. Maybe she said, like, my friend's still there, I escaped, you know. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I walk over while she's talking and just like, and I go over to the window and I see that there is a guy outside sitting on the porch. He's like literally in a seated position with a pistol, and he has two like, I would say like teenage kids. I think they're both black, and for some reason, yeah, it's like an older fat white guy, and he's just like, he has this pistol. It's like a big pistol for some. Maybe it's big because I need to, in my mind, in the dream, recognize that it's a gun. So it's this big silver, like shiny pistol, and what he's doing is like, he's pissed for some weird reason. It has nothing to do with me, but he's super pissed, and he's holding the two kids hostage, and he's trying to like, he's not trying to like kill them. He's not shooting to kill them, but he's like shooting like the shoulder blade, or shooting near the shoulder blade. I can't necessarily tell if he's actually but he's shooting near the shoulder blade, or like parts of the arm, and he's like yelling and he's screaming and stuff like that, and he's like pretty much holding them hostage, and he's like shooting near them, or he's like shooting like, I you know, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know if he's purposely missing vital organs. I don't know if this guy's a master pistol specialist that he's able to accurately not think, but it looks like he's not trying to necessarily kill them, but he is definitely using them as bait or something like that. So a crowd starts to form, and you know, and then as the crowd is forming, which, you know, as normally, now really thinking about it, it's kind of dumb. You see some guy with a gun. Usually people would run away from this, but the crowd is starting to form, and the police are trying to, you know, get to this guy. They're really trying to, like, I guess, get the hostage safely and stuff like that. But all of a sudden, while this is happening, an older guy, so whatever age I'm projecting the guy to be, another really old guy comes up, and he has the most classic, not a blazer, but like a trench of like a black trench coat, white button up. He's dressed very like, he's professionally but also mafia-y. He's dressed very mafia-y. And he has like the, what is it? What do they call those hats? And it's funny, it's weird. Now it's very strange because on IG they just gave me an ad for like a fedora. It's like a fedora hat. Like, he literally looks like like an old mafia kind of guy. And I never looked up that stuff in IG. IG's invading my dreams, dudes. I don't mind if like right now and then it starts showing me stuff like that, but I didn't even speak anything into existence until right now. And all of a sudden it's like, yo, you want some fedoras? You want some fedoras? I know I know why he's doing that, because ever since I started to dress nicely, I can tell that my phone is attached to my purchases and stuff like that. So they know I've been buying dress ups and stuff. The way I dress here is not how I dress when I leave. I should show you guys one day how I look when I leave actually the house. But, you know, button ups, slacks. I don't really like ties, so I don't wear ties, but like a nice decent dress shoes. And, you know, one of the things I don't wear are like bow ties, hats, you know, fancy belts. I don't do that, but it's funny that, you know, I thought I'd mention that. So the old guy, and this is the crazy part, the old guy comes up in a very weird car. And not only is the car weird, more specifically, I can't really see the car, but he pretty much has a mounted gun on the back of the car. So that would mean, now that I'm thinking about it, that someone was driving the car, pulled it up to that location, while he is in the back of the car with a, like a, not a Tommy gun, I think they call them like a, for some reason I knew, I said 20, like a 22 millimeter gun. Actually, I don't even know if that's it. I'm actually gonna do a quick search. It's, oh no, this is it. This is what it looked like. Anti-aircraft large caliber machine gun. Hold on. Now I think if I show this, it might flag it. Unfortunately, based on what I'm even saying now, is that what happened was that the guy started shooting into the crowd. Now the guy, I can't tell exactly how much casualties or anything like that. This is the way, like I said, it's not really like a good dream. But I don't know why these two people are like, this one guy's holding people hostage. It's obviously an accomplice in the driver. And now there's this old dude that is shooting into the crowd. And he's just like, they seem like they're insane. So obviously if there's something weird, like very strange like that happening in the open space like that, I don't know, like FBI or something like that's definitely going to get involved. Like this is a big, large scale thing that needs to be stopped and needs to be averted. So I think what starts to happen, which then is also going back to the weirdness of it, is that they start to, I guess the people started to try to flood the house. Like they try to get into the house for some reason, I guess either for safety or something like that, but all of the doors are locked, which makes no sense. That would have meant that I would have had to lock the lady out, which I don't remember specifically doing, but maybe I did do it once they started shooting. But all I know is that the doors are locked and they were trying to like breach inside. They're trying to breach inside. And at that moment, which again doesn't make sense, I should have then like just cooperated with the cops to try and get inside. Most likely for that. That probably at this point I should know that it has nothing to do with me. The reason why the cops and army or whatever like that. I don't remember what department was there after the police showed up, but it looked like some people, they definitely were like army-esque equipped, and they looked like, so they were trying to get into the house. Now, I don't know why, like I said, I should have known that it wasn't for me, but I was trying to scramble. So when I then was looking through the window, the old man with the mounted gun, he actually turns and he looks at me. And he's like, "Oh, you want some too?" And for some reason, I clearly distinctly said it. And then he turns the gun and shoots it through the window. I don't think I got hit, but I definitely like fell to the ground or something like of that nature, and like waited until he, I guess, went and returned his direction back over to what he was doing. I then somehow made my way to the roof. Now, I keep saying like it's a house, but it's not a house, but it's like also like an apartment. Like I don't know. I made it somehow. I was trying to make it down to the roof. I found it really weird. No, it's still a house because it has like a backyard. I don't know. Weird. Again, don't quote my weird memory of how this house apartment was. I make it to the roof, I'm trying to find the best way to get like out. I see one of the people, army people, whatever like that. I think they broke through a window or something like that, and then they say, "Hey, you can get down from here." And I don't remember exactly how I got down, but I eventually get down and I leave, and that's pretty much when I wake up. So that is pretty much the end of the dream. I know some people analyze dreams. I don't know what necessarily that would specifically mean, especially for my friend. I haven't spoken with his parents in a long time, so it's very strange for me to even consider them and something very specific to them in a dream of that nature, of like them. And I sometimes I would house sit for them, so maybe that's what I was doing. But my clear mental instinction there was that I was there to check out the house. I wasn't there to stay there. It was like a really weird occurrence that I was even there, and that all the other stuff that just went down. As far as my memory, no one was hurt nobody was hurt in the recording of this video. So I don't know if there was any casualties. Obviously, maybe they got into the thing, and just because someone's shooting into a crowd doesn't mean that he's shooting at the crowd. He could be shooting above it. Like again, the same way the guy with the pistol was just doing stuff to just ward off people initially when he had the two hostage. I don't know. I just thought that I would just share it, because when I have weird dreams like that, like I usually said, and I said in the first video, I would just write them down so I have a memory of it, so like I can look back and be like, "Oh my god, that was a weird dream. Why did I dream about that?" Like I'd rather have a wet dream at this point. Give me a wet dream. Give me a wet dream. I heard those are fun. You wake up and the bed's sticky, but like that would be very, very better. Very, very much better. Yes, very much better. That would be way better to have instead of having a dream like that. That was just like, first it was funny because I was just like, what are these ladies like? Come on, man. Like, if you don't know I'm supposed to be here, how do you know I'm not supposed to be here? Like, leave me alone. And then this quickly then turned into like, oh my god, what the heck is happening outside? All within a couple minutes. But YFOs in the comment section below, let me know how you feel I'm curious, what would you have done in that scenario if you actually witnessed some type of weird thing go on outside of your home, or if you're at someone else's house? Like, you know, what's the game plan? You know, what is your first thoughts of what you would do in that situation? Like, what would you have done when you see the hostage situation outside? And then, you know, some people might have a militant background. Maybe they would have felt comfortable. Maybe some people carry pistols on them all the time. Maybe they would have tried to relieve the situation themselves. Some people may, you know, maybe they want to negotiate with the guy. Maybe they want to go over there and try to talk him down. You know, some people do that too. I obviously would not get involved in a situation like that. I would have just assumed if I tried that the guy would just shoot me, especially because I remember the hostage being black as well. So I was just like, maybe he would have just turned and be like, you know what, screw you too, buddy. You can catch this work. And of course, when you know, the police or whatever starts raiding the house, like, what do? Do you stay in the house and just hope that they... like I said, I think I should have just stayed on that bottom floor. I didn't see the purpose now, in hindsight, going up to the roof or going near the roof to find like a ladder to get out and stuff. But I definitely didn't want to like leave out the door, like where all the action was happening. I wanted to go out a separate way. But maybe, I guess, like, there was no back door or something like that. Not that I can remember. Anywho, I gotta do my MFO video on... I have to do my MFL video on Monster Hunter Stories, so I'm gonna do that. Then get some other gameplay in and work out. You guys know the drill. So it's, you know, got some other stuff to do. But I thought I'd share that first. Hopefully you guys don't laugh at me or fear for the craziness that goes in my mind when I close my eyes. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Just remember that every day the Kashino is your lucky day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.